Welcome to
That's a wrap.
I'm Phil,
I'm Jeff.
and today our video is going to be about House of the Dragons. But before we continue, of course, we have to put our disclaimer out there. The characters we're going to talk about today, the show we're talking about today, are about fictitious characters. They're not real, so don't think that you'll find these people or dragons out here in the real world. Okay.
No, I wish dragons were real.
Yeah, that'd be
They are
cool.
not.
But they're not. They're not. So like I said, we're just discussing this. This is all entertainment, purposes. It's always good to have a little discussion with some friends or some fans about these TV shows, even though we know that they're not real. But it's good to discuss some ideas, opinions, and theories about where the writers will go with this, or how the director is going to pull off the next season or episode. It's pretty fun to, I knew this, or I knew that was going to happen type, deal. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about House of the Dragons. Unfortunately, the season has ended. Yeah, it was really good. The ending, the season finale. Oh man,
The cliffhanger they left us on was, and we gotta wait so long for the next.
It's like 2 years.
Yeah, 2 year wait. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't know what happened, man. I remember when every 3-6 months.
Yeah,
After the season was done, we had to wait maybe 3-6 months.
I think they're just so cautious now that they just refuse to film more than just a season, where I believe they should have filmed it all and then released sooner.
Yeah, like they did with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
They did did the whole movie and just broke it down into 3 sections. Well, I'd call it sections, but they're pretty much 3 movies, a trilogy, USA. But I'm like, they should do the same thing. Same thing with the seasons. I mean, they knew this was going to be a hit. I mean, unfortunately, if they listen to the people on the internet who sometimes didn't even watch the trailer, we'll talk about that. Another The Rings of Power, we'll talk about that in a different video. But the trailer, everybody seems to think that's the actual show or the movie. But what they're doing in the trailers is just getting you sucked in, or they're laying out the little plot.
Throwing the line in.
Exactly, to get you to watch it.
And them dragons look really good in that trailer.
Yes, they did a real good job. But with that being said, pretty much the whole first season of House of the Dragons is to set up Rhaenyra's backstory. The whole plot of this version of Game of Thrones is actually
The Targaryens.
right, and about why or what happened to all of the dragons. Because in Game of Thrones, they weren't really dragons. There were no dragons.
There were no dragons until she got the 3 eggs, and they were birthed out of the flame.
Right. And then if there were dragons, if you do recall, what was his name? The Lannister, the dwarf guy. I forgot his name.
Tyrion.
Tyrion Lannister discussed how they were pretty much the size of cats. They weren't really big or threatening in any way.
Nothing like the ones from this period.
Right. So everything is being set up, I guess, to let us know what happened to the dragons and what happened to the Targaryens. Because we don't see that many white-haired Targaryens in Game of Thrones. All right, but now in House of the Dragons is gonna build that backstory about Rhaenyra Targaryen and Daemon Targaryen,
Aegon,
yeah, all of them. And what's cool about it is there's also a theory out there that Daemon might be the Winter King, the Nightwalker King. There's a theory that he might be the Nightwalker King, but once again, that's something we'll probably get into in another video. But
actually, I think it was Viserys.
Viserys.
Viserys that was rumored to be the White Walker
Right.
King.
There's a lot of rumors and theories out there.
Yeah.
But to be honest,
And
like
this is like setting up the realm for the White Walkers to take over, basically.
right, right. Because honestly, the whole thing with Game of Thrones is like all of the houses are supposed to be united. They're supposed to be together to fight this threat of the White Walkers that was prophesied to happen. So the whole thing about Rhaenyra was she was supposed to keep, the houses together,
Keep peace.
keep peace. So when this time came, they will all be together against one common enemy, which will be the White Walkers, because whenever her father was Viserys, discussed about the dagger that eventually will get lost in the history of time of Game of Thrones. It talks about how that prophecy was to how it's going to be fulfilled. Now it said the prince, or I forgot exactly how the prophecy goes, but if you watch, you'll hear about that prophecy, and it's better explained that way. What we're doing is just letting you know that, hey, it's a good show. We're giving you a little background about it and why you should watch it if you've already watched Game of Thrones. Yeah.
In my opinion, this is much better than Game of Thrones, though.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm gonna be honest. I think when they made Game of Thrones, the original, it was a little raunchy and stuff like that to get people,
A little cringe.
Yeah, just get people suckered in. This one is, it has its episodes, but it's not like It's not like Game of Thrones. It's not like that.
It has its cringe moments, but it's nowhere near as bad as Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So it's actually setting up everything in a strategic way. It's showing how the houses got separated. It's showing how the houses are being not used, but how they're trying to get their personal gain on power. And so with that being said, it shows the growth of Rhaenyra. Plus it showed her friendship with Alicent and what happened with that. And then how Otto, which was the hand of King Viserys.
The hand of the king, yeah.
Yeah, it showed
and
how
her father.
Alicent's father, yeah. Who was showed how pretty much how he kind of puppeteered his way into the king making certain decisions on things, and how he got his daughter into the position to become the wife of the king. It was just an opportunity that was given to him, and he took that opportunity because of Viserys' first wife, who died through childbirth.
Yeah, there was a lot of manipulation by quite a few characters, actually, to get themselves in a place of power.
Yeah. So actually, this video, we probably joke around a little bit, but it's a very serious, it's pretty serious video, believe it or not. Even though the characters are fictitious, but the way things go about in this show is real. I'm not gonna say sneaky, but it's tit for tat, pretty much. Okay, so there's things in the book that they didn't put into the show, and it's for good reason. There's certain things that happen in the book that they shouldn't show on screen anyway.
Yeah, and books just have so much more detail. You can't put it all into a show or a movie.
Right.
There's no way possible, really.
Right. Like you were saying, it was like if they did the whole book, it would take what?
George R. Martin, I guess, is saying that they would have to do at least 4 seasons of 10 episodes to do it any kind of justice.
Yeah, and I think
so. I hope we'll get that.
I hope so. Especially in season 2, but I think they did a great job on setting up the characters to show what's going to happen in season 2. And the way it ended, you'll see why the whole issue with the White Walkers in Game of Thrones, how that took place and why it took place. Because like we said, the whole point of the houses was to be peaceful and be united so they could fight the common enemy. And now we see in this particular season how the houses are out for power. Okay. Yeah. And then we'll find out why there were no dragons when they were really needed. So pretty much is...
There's a lot of houses that haven't even really been involved much at all. Winterfell was the Starks, the Baratheons. We just finally seen the Baratheons in the last episode. I haven't seen any Starks yet.
What's them call it? Well, I mean, we have whenever one of them tried to get the hand of Rhaenyra in marriage, but he was like egotistical. He's not very bright. This particular Stark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he wasn't. He's a pansy as far as I'm concerned. You know, he's not like the Stark in House.
Not like
in
Ed
Game of Thrones.
Stark or Jon Snow or any of them.
Yeah.
No.
This guy, he's a real loser. But yeah, so Rhaenyra is portrayed in the TV show as someone being nice, and then turns bad. But in the book, she's not very nice in the book, especially with her and Alicent. They pretty much go tit for tat against each other. What's mentioned in the book that's not in the show is that when during the 5 pregnancies that Rhaenyra had, she gained weight, whereas Alicent didn't. So Rhaenyra became jealous of that, and that caused her to, do some tit for tat stuff. Whereas in the show, it shows that how she's trying to keep the kingdom together. She's a pretty much nice person, not out to get nobody. But maybe in second season, they'll probably bring that to fruition. Probably show that.
I think she's gonna be pretty vicious.
Yeah, oh yeah. Especially at the end of this season. Yeah, that face. Oh man, you seen that face?
That face could have melted stone.
Oh man, when she found out. Oh yeah, there's gonna be spoilers too. So, we didn't put that in the disclaimer. We put it now. So, watch the season finale. You haven't watched it yet, but yeah, season 2 is gonna be great because it's also setting up for the wars. There's actually supposed to be some wars in season 2 against the blacks, against the greens, which is Rhaenyra against Alicent. And then of course this is where the dragons are starting to get killed off.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of dragon battles, I believe.
Yeah.
And that green dragon is just huge.
Yeah. Just
the one that Aemon rides. Ugh. That thing is a beast.
Yeah. So we know at the end of the season finale there's going to be a war because, of course, Aemon killed his nephew. Not on purpose. It was just pretty much two dragons decided, hey, look, they just didn't want to listen to their riders. One was older, one was younger and scared, and of course, felt he had no option but to defend itself. And the older dragon was like, grave mistake.
Yeah.
One
bite.
Just one. Just one. That's all it took. But other than that, other things that's mentioned in the TV show that's not in the book, Sir Christian, which was the knight that Rhaenyra fell in love with at first, was supposed to be the one that took her V, but it ends up being in the book, it's Sir Howells. I think that's how you say his name. He's the one, that knight. The one that ends up having the 2 sons with Rhaenyra.
3 sons.
No, 2. He only had 2 with him.
I thought she had the new baby.
Oh, yeah,
she
right.
Had Joffrey with
her
right. Too.
That's right, Joffrey. Forgot about Joffrey. See, look at that. Good looking out. Forgot about Joffrey.
Then she has 2 with Daemon also.
Yes. And also in Game of Thrones, Joffrey in Game of Thrones also speaks about Rhaenyra and how she dies. So that's not really a spoiler.
Kind of a spoiler there for this whole season.
Yeah. Yep.
This whole show, however long it goes.
Yep. So if you watch Game of Thrones, and you already knew when you watched House of Dragons when it came out that Rhaenyra was going to die.
Yeah.
And how she was going to die. Yeah. So, I mean, we're not spoiling anything.
Yeah, I just don't see it. Well, I mean, her fate, but it doesn't really say which brother, so.
Yeah, it does. It does.
He says his brother eats her.
No, the dragon.
His brother's dragon eats her.
Which is Aemon.
She's got 2 brothers.
Yeah, Aegon and
Aegon and Aemon.
yeah, Aemon is the king right now.
Aegon's the king.
Yeah, it's him. He's the one who gets into a battle with her and the dragons because I guess later on after they finish killing off each other's kids and she gets I guess her kingdom turns against her or whatever. There's a whole bunch of other plots too because Damien gets involved with some other female. Kind of pisses off Rhaenyra a little bit, and they have there's a whole plot in it. We don't want to give away too much because it might end up being in season 2. But if you read the books, yeah, of course there's a lot of stuff in the books that's not going to be in this show. The reason why is because they're trying to build the backstory and character of Rhaenyra, and there's certain things, of course, in the book that they can't show in the TV show. Just because of whatever, it could be graphic or there's different plot lines that happen that doesn't coincide with the story they're trying to portray in the TV show. But we do know that in this season, after Rhaenyra's son gets killed by his uncle, they pretty much have to do what is called, what Daemon says, son for son. And the situation that's going to happen with Alicent, that's pretty much going to drive her bananas with the two assassins with
Blood and Cheese.
Yeah. They haven't mentioned them yet. That's in the book too. Also, what Mysaria, also called Miserable, I think they call her that in the book. Who ends up whose theory is that she is working with Daemon and how she used to be one of his girls that he
concubines.
That he used to mess with at these little brothels.
She's the White Worm now.
Yeah. And she's no longer selling her body. Now she's all about information and assassination, and she's loyal to Daemon. Pretty much, because that's how he's getting his information, through the underground. What's going on outside of the castle walls? What's going on? Not in King's Landing, is it?
Yes,
King's
it is
Landing.
King's Landing.
In King's Landing. So
basically, in the streets and the gutters of King's Landing, he gets his info on what's going on there through the White Worm.
And that's what's gonna happen with what's that? Has cheese and
Blood and Cheese.
That's how they're gonna get infiltrated, and that's how they are gonna infiltrate into King's Landing to present themselves to Alicent. Like I said, I don't want to give away too much. We try not to give away too much. This is another reason why we don't pretty much show any videos or pictures of the show, because we'd rather you watch it. I mean, we could do that. Maybe one day we will, but right now we just want to, create some kind of discussion, or we want to make sure that the information we're giving you or you hear about is not clickbait information. Like you go out there and you could clickbait something about, House of the Dragon, and you probably won't get whatever information that you expected to get. Plus, we want to make sure that the backlash that does come with this show, which it really hasn't gotten.
Yeah,
it really hasn't gotten much backlash because it's pretty much doing so well. And honestly, it's also it's Game of Thrones. There's people out there. If we're wrong, and you one of those folks out there who disagree, then hey, leave your comments down. We'll most definitely read it. Go ahead and like our video, subscribe,
give us thumbs ups.
Yep, give us some thumbs up, share it. We definitely would love to hear from you. Now, we do have some theories out there. Of course, we just spoke about some earlier about who would be the knight. What was it? The witch? Not the Witch King. I was about to say the Witch King. The
White Walker's
White
King.
Walker's King. Some ideas about what may happen into season 2. We already know Rhaenyra is gonna snap just because of the look, from the end of the season finale.
Losing a son and just the look she gives to the camera, it's she's definitely gonna be Far more aggressive.
Because there was a lot of tragedy that happened. A lot of tragedy that
And
happened
a
with
lot
her.
more to come.
Yeah, and to be honest, I think she was just bottling it up, trying to follow, her father's footsteps, and then this last tragedy, just pushed her over the edge. So we could only imagine. Well, if you read the book and you already know what's gonna happen, but let's see what they do by bringing it to life on the TV screen. See what is gonna happen, because we already know one that starts the war, for sure. That starts the death of the Dance of the Dragons,
Yep.
for sure. So we just want to see how she's gonna go about this, because she did say, when you go to war and use dragons, it burns everything.
Yeah, she doesn't want to rule over a kingdom of ash.
Yep. And that's what happened with Rhaenyra. Was it no? What was her name? Oh my God, it's been so long. Daenerys.
Daenerys.
That's what happened with Daenerys. Same thing in Game of Thrones. She didn't want to burn the city. She didn't want to rule over a burnt city and burnt corpses. But just like Rhaenyra, she got pushed over the edge when her friend got killed. And if you've seen it, you know what happens. So we can only imagine what's gonna happen next.
Using little dragons to kill people then.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are much bigger.
much bigger. But please let us know, what your ideas are, what theories you have. If we missed some information, or you feel that what we're saying is not true, and you think you have the right answers right there, leave it down in the comments. Give us some likes, thumbs up, subscribe. Hate us more if you do. Love us, because we know, hey, look, we doing this for you guys, for the people out there that just watch the show. And then next, like I said, the ratings, determine. And some of these ratings are getting fudged. Some of the numbers are getting fudged. People are just putting stuff out there, getting shows kicked off. It's just so happy the name Game of Thrones is what's keeping this show, and the whole plot, the books, everything is keeping this show going. So, I mean, there really, like we said, there's not much backlash for this show, but there's a lot of good stuff coming up for this show. And definitely looking forward to season 2, which is 2 years, probably by the same time Deadpool 3 comes out. So, in 2 years, hopefully there's going to be more stuff, of course. But once again, hey, thank you for watching, sticking with us. And I hope you do stick with us, because we got more to come. And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.